podcast. I'm Ben Filipkowski, your resident film freak.
And I'm Farrah Sarpkaya, a person who loves film, but like in a super chill, I have how long to watch all of these nominated films sort of way.
Yeah, that's because today we are not actually talking about a movie, but rather a whole bunch of movies. Yes, today we are talking about the Oscars, or specifically the Oscar nominees for the ceremony that's going to occur in mid-March 2026. These are nominees for the previous year of movie releases. The Oscars, or officially the Academy Awards, are presented by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, that's a mouthful, in the first quarter of every calendar year in recognition of the artistic and technical achievements in film from the previous year. So, as I was just saying, the Oscars ceremony in 2026 recognizes films from 2025. As of this recording, the nominees have been out for a few days. I think they came out on the 22nd. And it is the 25th when we are recording this. So naturally, we have some thoughts and feelings about the whole thing. I might put an asterisk there and say that I have some big thoughts and feelings about the whole thing. And I feel like I'm just dragging Farrah along for this potentially one-sided rant. Before we
listen,
yeah,
it's fine.
Before we really dig into the nominees, I do want to note a few things. We're probably going to focus on the big awards for the most part. So that's stuff like Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Supporting Actor and Actress, Director, Screenplay, Cinematography. It's not a huge list of awards. We'll probably cover the vast majority of them in short form, certainly. But we'll talk about what we can, share some thoughts on it, and it also bears repeating that we have not necessarily seen every nominee on this list. On my end, I think I've been able to catch about 50% of the best picture nominees, and I'm hoping to catch the few that I haven't between now and the actual ceremony, because I think there are about 10, and I've seen about 5. This brings me to my final point. Again, we are covering nominees today. There will be a future episode recapping the winners. That will probably land about a week after the actual ceremony, if memory serves. Actually, no, I have the link open right here. March 15th, that's the ceremony. Live on Hulu. So I guess I'm watching that on Disney Plus here in Canada. We'll see. So far, I know we've talked a bunch about the Oscars in the past, and it's kind of like a meme in our friend group that award season hits and everyone tags me to listen to me rant and rave. So I guess my question for you is, are you an Oscars diehard? Because this is my Super Bowl.
I feel like I should be, and it feels wrong that I'm not, because I am an actor and I should be all in on all things Oscars, but I'm not really. I mean, it's not that I'm not. It's that this is a guideline of cool things to watch, because that's, what the industry has pointed at and said, this is really good. And that's awesome. And I love that. But it's not like, oh my God, I have to be home. I have to have my snacks. I have to have my notes. I have to watch every single thing the moment that it's released. I'm not that kind of person into it, I guess. But I'm also not that kind of person with pretty much anything. So maybe it's just not me as a person getting that into a thing.
Yeah.
But I will say I do enjoy getting to see what the trends are in kind of an overall what every year kind of sweeps.
Yeah.
So back when Lord of the Rings was the darling of the Oscars, and how things have changed to where we are today, and where Sinners, spoilers, is the one that has swept and broken that particular record. Well, in fact,
to just a note on that, Return of the King,
I get it wrong?
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. The record it set was that it was nominated for 11 and won all 11 awards it was nominated for. Sinners has set a record for the most number of nominations by a movie in a single. So it could, if it sweeps those awards, it's gonna demolish the record set by Return of the King, which is I mean, you could do worse. Like, there are far worse movies.
for sure.
I'd be very happy if the thing that's going to dethrone Return of the King, hey, see what I did there? Is Sinners. That would be a really cool passing of the torch. Anyways, that's a digression.
The passing of the beacons of Gondor.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the passing of the flaming Denethor leaping off of Minas Tirith. Yeah.
Exactly. Now I want to watch Lord of the Rings. Again. Yeah, no, I think Oscars, I like getting your takes. I like looking at the list. I like picking things off of the list and watching them, but I'm not like glued to every single thing that covers the Oscars. And hey, if I ever make it to the Oscars, maybe that'll be different. But for now, it is a thing that happens in Hollywood that I take as a weather vane of maybe you should try these things, and that's cool, you know?
Yeah. I think it's a great. I think that there's a lot of criticism of the Oscars and awards season in general as kind of like ringing hollow and being a very like, well, it's just a popularity contest. I think with the Oscars, it is like, you know what? Yeah, there's a very popular movie is probably going to be more widely seen by the voting blocks of the Academy, and therefore there's a strong chance it's going to win. But I think like there's kind of like an openness and understanding of that, so it kind of like circles back around to being like, for the people who are nominated and everyone involved, it does wind up being a celebration of film and cinema again, which I think is really cool. Yeah. Well, do we want to talk about the nominees first? Do we want to talk about how it all works? Because
yeah, I mean, I am of the opinion that if we're gonna talk through in order of operations, maybe we start with what is it?
Yeah.
What is this thing we're talking about? Why do we care?
Yeah. The Oscars are officially known as the Academy Awards. They are awarded by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. They are an organization. I wrote this down because they have a very specific mission statement. They are a professional honorary organization committed to advancing the arts and sciences of motion pictures. So they're celebrating artistic achievement and technical achievement in equal measure. The membership to the Academy is granted by the Board of Governors. I don't have a ton of insight into that process, but I do know that if you're nominated for an Oscar, you are automatically considered for membership. You're basically a member if you get a nomination. Like the members come from across a wide array of disciplines in filmmaking. So like there are different kind of like I can't remember the term that they use for it, but like there are all these different like disciplines that are reflected in Academy membership, and typically it'll be like the writers get to vote on writing, the actors will typically vote on writing. So it is kind of like your peers and colleagues are the ones kind of assessing things and voting on these things. There are about like 10,000 members in the Academy, so like there are about 10,000 voting members who will kind of decide what they deem the best of the best to be. The nominations process, that's a whole thing in and of itself. People will campaign for Oscars, like there are marketing campaigns dedicated to like for your consideration campaigns. These also occur with things like the Emmys. The Emmys are the TV side of the Oscars. It's like the sister organization, so there's a lot of kind of a shared process there. Yeah, they're awards.
Are they U.S. focused or are they an international organization? How does that work in terms of like if we're considering foreign film and or like French language film or like, you know, stuff not in English made in Hollywood? So
they are historically U.S. based. They are a predominantly U.S. based organization. They are. They're based out of Beverly Hills, California. They do have a lot of recognition. Like you'll see it in the nominees. They have best foreign film, things like that. I think they've changed the name of that award. So yeah, they now have best international feature film, which is like something that's not necessarily produced in the United States. What else do they have? It used to be best foreign film once upon a time. That has changed. There's a big U.S. focus, but like if I'm looking at something like best picture nominee, we have Sentimental Value. Sentimental Value is I believe this is a Swedish production, a Norwegian Swedish co-production. It's and that's nominated for Best Picture, but then like if we look at, they've also got Best International Feature Film. It's also nominated for Best International Feature Film. I'm not totally sure what the delineation of that is, because they will change these categories from time to time, and they have very specific like qualifications and rules behind all of this that are a little intimidating for me to read. But suffice to say, like they do make an effort to be a little more outward looking at this point in time, and especially since 2016, I think that was when the like hashtag Oscars so white thing was floating around social media. They have actually made a really concentrated effort to diversify Academy membership. It's still going to be a predominantly like white guys organization, just by nature of the ages reflected in Academy membership, but you know, it does seem like they're making a more of an effort to be a little more diverse and to recognize a wider selection of films. So whether they achieve that or not is, you know, your mileage may vary.
For sure. The other, because the one that I've seen a lot of advertised, because I follow, shocking no one, a lot of like Canadian media, stop motion stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And The Girl Who Cried Pearls was animated for Best Animated Short, and it's a Canadian film. And I know for, as a Canadian, there's, I don't know, it feels funny that America is another country, and that's a weird thing to say, but we've grown up so close media-wise, is what I mean to say. And so seeing Canadian films on the Oscars list or not seeing them on the Oscars lists always was like, made me wonder like how much overlap there is over borders versus made in the US or produced in the US or whatever that like line is. I was never sure. So
it seems a little nebulous at times. Like there are movies that I'll look up and they're like, oh yeah, this is not necessarily like related to the nomination process, but I'll look up like a movie that I'm like, this is clearly like a foreign film. Like this is made in the UK. This is made in Norway or something. They're like, oh yeah, this is a US production. And so like a lot of these production houses are maybe doing things for different markets, or, you know, I don't know. It's weird. It's complicated. And it's, I think, a valid criticism of the Oscars is that there's like it can be a little insular, and that they're like, Hollywood, this is about Hollywood for Hollywood.
Well, it's like how the World Series is America and one Canadian baseball team. And, but movies.
It's like all these like leagues are like, and we're the world champions of this sport that is only played in this one country. And it's like, well, fair.
Sure.
Sure, right. Your league is just this one.
It's a league of their own, you might say.
So
that's what that is. So we know what it is. We know where it's based. There's a term that's like Oscar bait that we've used on this podcast, in fact, specifically for King's Speech, I believe.
Yes.
But talk to me about what we mean when we say like Oscar bait, how those things are decided. You mentioned already like campaigns around like Oscars, choose us. Is that kind of like back in high school you had like prom king and queen voting and being like, choose me for prom queen?
Yeah, I
never said that.
So, like Oscar, I'll start with Oscar bait. I'm trying to like look up a good, concise definition because it is kind of a weird one. You know, Oscar bait. Here's just like Wikipedia's quick summary. Oscar bait is a term used in the film community for movies that appear to have been produced for the sole purpose of earning nominations and/or winners for Academy Awards. They're usually released just in advance of Oscar season, so that's like late in the calendar year. So like these kind of like semi-high profile dramas that appear to have like no real marketing campaign and then pop up in December. You're like, I wonder why they're doing it at that point. You know, they're trying to meet the minimum eligibility requirements for the awards and be fresh in the minds of Oscar voters. Again, just reading here, the prestige or acclaim the studio may receive from the nomination or award is often secondary to the increased box office receipts such a film may garner. Some films may even be depending on it to turn a profit. So a thing that like jumps out to me in the awards here is that there is one movie in these awards that is, I think it's Best Actress in a Leading Role, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue. This might be a perfectly fine movie. I did not hear about this movie until like December. It released in December on streaming. I don't think it had a wide theatrical release at all. It's now got a Best Actress nomination. It's checking a lot of boxes for Oscar bait, and you can be certain that they're going to be promoting like Oscar-nominated film Song Sung Blue. Again, this could be a perfectly wonderful movie. I have not seen it. I think Brandon was talking about his parents really enjoyed it when we were chatting recently.
Yeah.
So like it could be great. Yeah, and Oscar bait movies tend to have certain characteristics as well. Like if it's like a period drama or a war film with like tragic or historical events, strong chance it might be Oscar bait. You know, like a lot of very important film about like a certain topic.
Big air quotes from Ben in an audio only podcast.
Yeah. Very important film with like you know, all-star cast. It's going to tackle a topic like so there's a movie, I think the movie Crash from like 2004. Yeah, 2004.
Classic. Yeah, I remember that.
Is a crime drama directed by Paul Haggis. What did it win? It won Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Film Editing. But by and large, I think like in hindsight, a lot of people see this as like, this was Oscar bait. Like you have this high profile cast. They're kind of roughly tackling the topic of racism. Too mixed. Again, your mileage may vary. Yeah. And it gets like these rave reviews. But like, I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know. This is just like a random aside on my part. But like, you know, the kind of like very important film trademark seems to be like a calling card of Oscar bait. And it's
yeah, it feels like one of those things of like, you'll know it when you see it, because it's like, oh, look at this Schindler's List, look at this King's Speech, look at this big important thing with big epic monologues with like, there's a what's the word I'm looking for? There's a grandeur sometimes around films that are explicitly feel like Oscar bait.
Yeah.
Of, you know.
Yeah, and
we want this to be epic.
Yeah, and it's not the greatest term, because I think like again, there's like redeeming stuff to all these movies. Like I think like Crash as a movie gets a lot of flack for being kind of like middle of the road overall, but like it did win Best Picture, and obviously like there's good stuff in there. There's enough in there that it resonated with enough voters, or maybe those voters got really targeted by like a really cushy for your consideration campaign. I don't know. Who can really say? So looking at the nominees this year, like if I didn't dig into things more, I would look at something like Hamnet and be like, Oscar bait, period piece about like probably more of a female perspective on Shakespeare, explicitly about the life of William Shakespeare. Seems like a thing where it's like, oh, and in this time, women did not enjoy the same rights as men, and da-da-da-da. And you could probably make a case that this would be an Oscar bait movie. Again, knowing more about it, I don't know that I'd make that judgment call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Oscars are weird.
Yeah, I mean,
But fun.
it's also like, as a person who works outside of the media industry as well, sometimes you want to make big projects that win awards, and that's not a bad thing. Or you make a beautiful film that also can do those things.
Yeah.
And that's also not
100%.
a bad thing. Like, this isn't a judgment call.
Yeah.
This is just I don't know, it's a project that you might do that will also meet certain criteria in the marking rubric elsewhere. And both can be true, and that's okay. That's not there's nothing bad about that. It's just a thing that you might notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then what we've received as of last week on recording is, a big old list of Best Picture, Best Short Film, Best Director, Best Actors and Actresses, both lead and etc., writing things, costuming things, cinematography, go down the list, right?
Yeah.
And so what did we see? What were your first impressions when you got the list? Because I'll be honest, I have seen 2 of the things on this list: Frankenstein and K-pop Demon Hunters. That's so far. That is what I have seen of this list, and how much I know, because I'm not the one that researches of this duo. And so, talk to me about the list. What have you seen, and was there anything that surprised you?
Yeah, I think broadly. So when I saw this list, I was like, yeah, okay, great, these Best Picture nominees seem really strong. I've heard nothing but good about all of them. The one that stands out as an odd one to me is F1, the F1 movie. Seems like, I think people watched it and enjoyed it, but a lot of the critical consensus that I saw about it was it's fine. It's a movie about F1. It's not necessarily the deepest thing ever. Looking. Why don't I just run through the Best Picture nominees? Because I think
Sure.
they're all pretty strong. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10. We have Bugonia, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. F1, directed by Joseph Kosinski. Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro. Hamnet, directed by Chloe Zhao. We have Marty Supreme, directed by Josh Safdie. One Battle After Another, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. The Secret Agent, the director for The Secret Agent is not listed here. I'm going to find that. Written and directed by Kleber Mendonça Filho. I'm probably mispronouncing that Brazilian Portuguese name. Sentimental Value, directed by Joachim Trier. Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler. And Train Dreams, directed by... I should know this because Train Dreams is one of my favorite movies from last year. Directed by Clint Bentley. So I think looking at this list, I've seen Frankenstein, I've seen One Battle After Another, Sinners, Train Dreams. I've watched about half of F1. I think. Feel like I've seen a lot of that movie and I don't really recall putting it on at any point. So I've seen about 50% of these. They're all everything that I've seen on this list is really good. It's been fun to watch. I'm really excited that something as weird as Bugonia is getting a nomination, but I'm not surprised because everything Yorgos Lanthimos has done over the last 5 years seems to have gotten a Best Picture nomination. Frankenstein, it's cool. It's cool to see Guillermo del Toro continue to get recognition. He won Best Picture, or I should say Shape of Water, a movie he directed, won Best Picture a few years back. One Battle After Another was a stressful 3-hour roller coaster. I really enjoyed it. Sinners remains an absolute blast to watch. My wife and I watched it last night and stayed up a little too late watching it, but had a great time. Train Dreams. Train Dreams is this contemplative movie about life and loss and kind of like continuing on. It's a period piece. And I watched, I was like, wow, what a profound movie. And then the credits rolled and I ugly cried for 5 minutes. It's an absolutely beautiful, heartbreaking movie.
Yeah.
Highly recommend people go watch it. If there's any kind of justice in this world, I think Train Dreams should win Best Picture. If I'm being realistic, I think it's probably going to go to something like, it might be One Battle After Another.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Sinners, because the one that has swept like
all the
16
awards.
noms.
I think like, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about this. I think One Battle After Another, it feels like a movie ripped from the headlines of what's going on in man, I don't want to dig too much into real world politics, but it's very much inspired by real world politics and is adapting a Thomas Pynchon novel. It's ultimately about like freedom and dealing with institutionalized racism, but also filtered through like this kind of father-daughter story. It's a really good movie. It's darkly funny. I think it is making a statement about the contemporary world. So I can kind of see the Academy voters being like, this is the thing that we're going to pin our votes on. I think ultimately Sinners is a little more, I would prefer if Sinners won. Like if I had to choose between One Battle After Another and Sinners, I'd go with Sinners because I think Sinners is a little more I hate to say that it feels like authentic, but I think it's like from certain voices, and
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like it feels much more relevant from like a cultural perspective, and I think like that is ultimately a more profound statement for the Academy to make, is that, you know, a film by you know, African American voices and a, you know, and so many people of multiple cultures can collaborate and contributing. I think ultimately that's, to me, a more profound statement than like something ripped from the headlines. So that's kind of where I land on that. But they could also just take a bit of a left turn and give it to something like Marty Supreme, which is apparently a few friends have watched it and they've said both that it is like watching a 2-hour anxiety attack in a good way. And that is apparently apparently a very Ben-coded movie, which I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's a bad movie in this bunch though. Like everything, I'm going to be catching The Secret Agent as soon as possible, Sentimental Value as soon as possible, Marty Supreme as soon as possible, Hamnet as soon as possible, Begonia. I don't know, man. I think I'm sure it's good, but like I feel like I watched Poor Things, and I'm like, I get what your deal is. I watched Kinds of Kindness, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, man. Yeah. I get what your deal is. I don't know if I can bring...
Listen, there's a lot of directors that are like that, and I love that for them. Yeah. And I understand both the impetus to want to watch all of the things to see how they handle it differently, and also one of the things, and you're fine. Yeah. I understand both sides of that conversation.
Yeah. So... yeah, I think it's a strong year. Like, I think it's a really strong year. A movie that I have not seen but was getting a lot of praise was No Other Choice, which I think is a Park Chan-wook movie. Is it? Let me confirm before I'm just...
Speaking untruths.
Park Chan-wook, No Other Choice. This is the director of... he did... Old Boy back in 2003. If anyone has seen that, that's a really good movie. Like an iconic South Korean director. This was like a bit of a gallows humor comedy. It's not on here. I feel like maybe it could be, and that would have been really cool to see, but that's my change. I would drop F1 and I would put like No Other Choice on here for Best Picture.
Fair enough. One thing that you said before, paired with that, I would gotta say, the idea that the Academy could, I think you said something like make a statement, and by picking specific movies. What do you mean by that? Because like this is, I mean, at its core, it is a professional networking event for a bunch of film industry people that we have lauded into this, you know, big event that we all tune into. Even if you're not a film nerd, a lot of people tune into it for the fashion or for the speeches or the performances or whatever you tune into the Oscars for. Why does this matter? Why would making a statement here matter? Like, what is the whole, like...
Yeah.
Why do we care?
Slamming into my microphone here. I think, like... Because,
I'm
like,
really passionate about this.
At the end of the day, like, as an organization, they are not immune to criticism. They are not immune to anything like that. And I think, like... Yeah, I just think that, like, I don't know that it's, like, necessarily that they are providing, like, I don't know, they're not immune from criticism, I think is the best way to put it. Like, there have been, there are frequent accusations of certain biases that are present in the nominees, and like perceived snubs and exclusions. We kind of touched on like the lack of diversity that has been a problem historically. Yeah, there's been like criticism that they've made like choices as like voting blocks to recognize certain things, even though there might be what's popularly perceived as a much stronger performance. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, for as much as they try to make to legitimize these awards and make them like such a big thing, they are, you know, as prone to political discussion as possible. Like, occasionally they'll get like they'll surveys will be done of like voting members, and it's like, what did you vote for this go round and why? And it's anonymized, but then you'll have people being like, I voted for this movie because I think we should make more movies about America. And like, so, you know, there are biases present in this. I think, like, I don't know. I'd probably have to dig into that a little bit more to really provide a comprehensive answer on it. But it certainly feels like...
Ben, you're the one that put the question, do awards matter and why?
Oh, well, like, do awards matter?
Guardrails.
That's a totally different thing. But, like, if we're talking about, like, making a statement through awards, you know?
I see.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly, I think, like... Yeah. Like, I don't know how much these voters are talking to each other. It could be that they're all like, so what are you going for? Do you think this is the thing?
Yeah.
Like, oh, what if we did this? What if we did this? It ultimately is a secret ballot when they're voting, but, like, they're not disqualified from talking to each other about this stuff, as far as I know. So it could be that, like, you've got the voting members for, you know, the Best Picture block are like, hey, like, what are we feeling, guys? What are we really feeling? Maybe they should be barred from talking with one another. I don't know how you do that with 10,000 voters, though.
No, I don't think that's necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't have much of an opinion, but I feel like that feels silly because, like, as a person who likes movies and wants to be in them and, you know, all this, I'm not going to not talk about other movie people about movies. Like, that seems silly and restrictive. But, like, at the end of the day, I mean, this is kind of a temperature check, right?
Yeah.
Of where the industry is leaning, even if it's as much as it could or could not be, like, contrived or whatever. And I think that's something to consider, and that's my very limited knowledge of the Oscars, perhaps, but that even as strategic as it might be or not, even as pre-forethought it might be or not, any kind of survey like this is going to be a temperature check of, hey, industry, how are we feeling?
Yeah.
What's up?
Exactly.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think like, and even if we like kind of go back to our example of Return of the King sweeping its Oscars back in the day, I remember at the time there's a lot of like scuttlebutt around like, oh well, they didn't win all the awards they were nominated for the other movies. Like they won like best VFX, best costume design. They had wider nominations, but they won these like they won all of these awards because it was kind of like they were saving the recognition for the last one versus like, and you're going to dominate each movie in this trilogy. So they just they're like, here you go. Like, yeah, this is in recognition of the full trilogy versus like any one singular standout thing.
It's not it's not that Return of the King was the best of the three. It's that they didn't want to have 3 years in a row when it was Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings.
Yes, yeah. And like, let's be honest, Fellowship of the Ring is the best of those 3 movies. It's the best one by far. It's not even close.
Listen,
it's not even close.
We'll have to do a Lord of the Rings episode just for the trilogy, not one of them, just the whole trilogy, and we can debate that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, I feel like a weird non-comprehensive crash course on what the Oscars are and what their deal is. You know, there's a lot of, as with anything, there's politicization and
of course,
big feelings win out. But I think like the and again, the criticism I hear the most is that awards are like a popularity contest. I was like, yes, they are. But because we kind of know that, we can kind of circle back around to it being like, we're all just happy to be here. It's an honor to be nominated.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about the Oscars this year because I feel like this is going to be the year where I finally watch everything before the ceremony versus catching up after.
Yes.
And I don't think that there's truly a bad nomination in here. Nothing like stands out as particularly weird to me. That's
an interesting thing because I've had this conversation with multiple people, particularly recently, how like there's ways to do things right, or this thing is good with a capital G, and everybody can agree on it. No, they can't. One person's Wicked one is another person's Cats, you know, like, and vice versa. And it's impossible for us to necessarily sit down and say definitively 100% without any kind of biases, this is the best movie of all time, period, full stop, with no other like asterisks on that, because what does that even mean? I know they have a rubric, I'm sure, or like they know they have rules around it, but I mean, as a society, as a culture, like, we recorded recently for Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and I'm like, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. That's not a movie that won an Oscar. I don't think. I'm pretty sure that didn't win an Oscar. But, you know, there are so many films that could qualify under the quote-unquote best picture for a person versus a best picture for an organization like the Oscars.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's weird because like the Academy is both an institution and a bunch of people, you know, like, so it's almost like, democratically kind of, sort of, this is the best, maybe, according to these people at this point in time.
This specific set of people.
But I think like ultimately it is helpful to remember that like their mission statement is a very like optimistic, you know, noblest of intent. We just want to recognize excellence.
Absolutely.
And I think, like, that is the thing that I try and hold on to with this, which is why it is so weird when, like, the years will go by where they're like, and we're nominating the worst movie you've ever seen for Best Picture. And I'm like, why are they doing that? That's terrible. That's where I get hung up, because it's like, oh, this is what you think is like one of the best movies? That's so weird. Okay. But
no accounting for taste, right?
Yeah, like, I don't know, looking at last year's nominees, obviously, like, not everything's going to be an absolute knockout punch, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, ultimately, like, good on Sean Baker for winning Best Directing. But I watched that movie that he did, Anora, and I watched a bunch of the other Best Directing nominees. And I'm like, I would not have picked that personally. But that's just me. I don't know. I have strong feelings every Oscars, except this one. My strong feelings this year are just like, what a good lineup! Like, what a good showing. It's really cool to see that there are just. I don't think there's a weak thing in here except maybe F1. But F1 has its fans, and it has its. If nothing else, that movie is like an incredible technical achievement. So maybe we should be celebrating that. Yeah. It's weird because, like, when you start talking about best, it's immediately going to start having you like rank and qualify things. But at the end of the day, like, there are things in these movies that I love and things that I dislike.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, and it's tough. It's I don't know. It's an honor to be nominated. maybe that's my big takeaway here.
Yeah. I mean, anybody would want to be nominated as the best in their insert career here. Like, it's an honor and a privilege to have your peers look at the thing that you made, whether it's a movie, whether it's a short film, whether it's a project plan, I don't know, and say, wow, good job. And I love that. Like, that's what do we do but sit here and talk about movies that we love, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just it. And so I know you already said to me that you're going to try to see all of the movies. I'm going to try to see more of the movies than just the two that I have seen. But is there any that you have as like a standout of like, oh my God, this thing?
Yeah, Train Dreams.
Art.
Train Dreams is beautiful. But also, as I think about it, it's like you kind of have to commit to it. Because I was watching it and just kind of like cuddled up on my couch and kind of like, okay, I'll put this on. I've heard good things. And kind of semi-distractedly watching it while puttering on my phone, which is not a great habit. It's a terrible habit of mine. But like, it did pull me in, like probably like 30 minutes, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of hooked. This is kind of really good, and I'm enjoying it a lot. And then I had such an emotional reaction to it. I recommend checking that one out. One Battle After Another is full of really good performances. Like, two of the best supporting actor performances are from... Two of the best supporting actor nominees are from One Battle After Another. You know, it's a good movie. It's stressful. It's very... When it's funny, it's very funny. It's got some good bits. I definitely recommend that. Frankenstein is just like, what a pretty movie. Which is a weird thing to say about something about reanimating corpses.
But it is.
It's so well done.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. God, what else? Sinners is just cool. Sinners is a cool movie. I feel like everyone has seen Sinners, but almost everyone has seen Sinners. If you haven't seen Sinners, you should go watch Sinners. It's a good movie. It's just, it does some really cool things. Watching it in theaters is probably the way that I would recommend checking it out. But watching it on big screen at home was also a real experience. There's some moments where the aspect ratio changes. It goes from like standard widescreen to IMAX format widescreen. They do that for some like really cool moments in the movie. That would have been incredible to see in theaters. It still hit hard at home. Yeah.
Incredible.
I want to watch all of these. Yeah. And, you know.
Yeah.
Do we...
Yeah, I mean...
Well, do we want to go through... Do we just want to list out these things and do our picks? Do we want to do something like that? I mean,
I don't know
okay.
any of them. The only Best Picture I have seen shamefully as Frankenstein.
That's fair.
Because I've had a very busy Q4
Yes.
with some family stuff. And so perhaps for our recap, after the awards are done, I will have finally been able to see many more of these. Because they are from your view and just generally from what I have heard of most of them, absolutely spectacular. Like you said, we have a good lineup here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as we are heading into the ceremony itself in just a few weeks, what should people look for? Both as they're watching the films, if they want to try to watch them, and also in the awards ceremony and procedurals itself.
I think like heading into the Academy Awards proper and the presentation, the Conan O'Brien is hosting. Conan's always a fun host. I'm a big fan of Conan O'Brien. If you just want to watch the Oscars, it's fun to watch the Oscars. They're long. They're a little slow at times because they get really. They're trying to do a celebration of the industry. Watch it for the fashion on the red carpet and the red carpet interviews. That's always fun. If you're gonna, if people are curious about my predictions, I'll gladly provide them.
Do it up, and then we can edit in post if you're wrong.
Yeah, as of January 25th, this is where I'm at. I'm not going to go through everything, but I think Best Picture, I think One Battle After Another has a really strong case. They all have really strong cases. My personal pick would be Train Dreams, but if I'm being realistic, and who I think will win, probably One Battle After Another. Maybe they'll go left field and go Sinners. I think that'd be really cool if they went with Sinners. So, if there was justice in this world, both Train Dreams and Sinners would win Best Picture. I hope that
it'd be a
Sinners.
Perfect tie.
Yeah, if I'm being realistic, I don't think Train Dreams is going to win it because it feels like a smaller movie that not as many people have seen. I think that One Battle After Another is probably going to take it home. I think that it'd be cool if Sinners won it. I wouldn't be surprised if Marty Supreme won it based on the word of mouth. Best Directing. This is tough. This is a tough one. Because it could be, again, any of these movies. I suspect that if... I would guess that it's going to be One Battle After Another, but my personal pick would be Sinners.
Yeah.
Best Actor in a Leading Role. I would love it if... I want Ethan Hawke to win this for Blue Moon. I haven't seen Blue Moon.
Really?
I've heard nothing but good about it, though. Fagnamura would also be a cool pick. Michael B. Jordan in Sinners is good. I don't know that it's like... It's a technically impressive performance because he's playing twins.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that it's like the... that's not the thing that sticks with me about this movie. Like, his performance is great. It's not the thing that... you know... Best Actress... This is tough. No, I'm going to go with Wunmi Masaku for Sinners. She's great in that. Tiana Taylor is also great in One Battle After Another, but I feel like I'm going with Sinners. Best Writing, Original Screenplay, Sinners. Let's go with Sinners. It's probably not going to be Sinners. That's my pick.
That's what you would.
That's what I would vote for.
Were you in the Academy? I understand.
But it could be Blue Moon. I think Blue Moon would be incredible. Best Writing Adapted Screenplay. I saw some commentary that why is Frankenstein on here? I was like, well, why not? It's an adapted screenplay. Best Writing Adapted Screenplay. One Battle After Another is a really compelling movie to watch, and it is adapting the kind of postmodern surrealism of Thomas Pynchon. And for that alone, that's an arduous task for any writer. So I think it's got to be One Battle After Another. Best Animated Feature Film, K-Pop Demon Hunters. No hesitation. It should be K-Pop
really?
Demon Hunters.
All
yeah.
Right. Don't get me wrong. I adored K-Pop Demon Hunters and have watched it multiple times.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that even just as a cultural phenomenon without even looking at the others. You're just like, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? No, not Zootopia 2. Like, I'm sure that's a fine movie.
I mean, yeah.
Elio,
I'm excited to watch it.
Didn't see a lot of. It just feels like the obvious one here to me is K-pop Demon Hunters. It is a cultural touchstone. Resonated with a lot of people.
Sure did. Yeah.
No disrespect to any of these other movies, except maybe Zootopia 2. But
how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare?
How dare. Best international feature film. Excuse me. I haven't seen any of these. Based on the word of mouth that I've seen, though, it could be any of these. I think like the strongest contender is probably Sentimental Value or The Secret Agent, because those are both Best Picture nominees. I think they just
the overlap.
Just being like realistic here, that those will probably get the most attention. But it was just an accident, and the voice of Hindrajab have also been highly, highly regarded. So yeah, it could be any of these. I'm not going to touch on documentaries just because I have no familiarity with it. I have not seen it. I do not frequent those circles or the shorts. So I'm going to get down to the cool stuff. Best music. Sinners, come on. This music is so central to Sinners. I think it's a no-brainer. Best music original song. I Lied to You from Sinners is really good, but this could just be another win for K-pop Demon Hunters. Like,
yeah, honestly,
Golden
I wouldn't be surprised.
Golden's not my favorite song from that, though.
I mean, sure, but
it's good. It's a good song.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's really well done. It's just not my favorite song. Best casting, I don't know about that. I don't know how you qualify that. The casts and all these things that look incredible. Best sound, it's got to be F1, just from like a technical perspective, I think. Like,
interesting.
Because like best sound is not best music.
Yeah,
the production,
it's
the production design of the sound and the technicalities of all of that. I think F1. I think that's just like everything I've seen of F1.
Yeah,
it seems like that's a shoe-in. Best production design, Frankenstein by far. It's got the vibe. It's got the look.
Yeah.
It's cohesive.
I mean, it has the Del Toro cohesive look that we just know
you
of
just reach
Del
out
Toro
and touch
in
everything
all
in that movie. Yeah.
Yes.
So good. Best cinematography. They're all good. They're all good picks. I have a barking dog in the background. Yeah, best cinematography. You can't go wrong with any of these. These are all incredible movies with a real look and vibe to each.
Yeah.
Best makeup and hairstyling. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Like just for the creature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Costume design. Frankenstein. Same reasons.
You're just sweeping Frankenstein now.
Just for these like design and vibes. Yeah. Best film editing. I'm going to pass on this one. I think they're all strong. They all appear strong to me. But best VFX has to be Avatar, though. Those movies always look incredible. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched them yet, and I can see that. Like, yeah.
Like, no disrespect to any of these other movies. Yeah. Anyways, those are my picks. We'll see how this all pans out.
We'll record them, and we'll see. I mean, we have recorded. We'll compare when we return in just a few weeks.
Yeah.
On the post Oscars recap, to be able to point at and go, this is where you align or not. And we'll see how many of the Oscars movies I actually managed to watch between now and the end of March.
Yeah.
We have a month, 2 months almost in real lifetime, and we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think that brings us to a natural closing point.
But no, I mean, enjoy the Oscars,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
We certainly shall. And we look forward to seeing, getting to talk a little bit more next time about what's great. Where you can find all of that. Listen, I got to find my transitions here.
Yeah.
Where you can find all of that is on Patreon as Coffee and Kurosawa. You can also find us on Blue Sky and Instagram as Coffee Kurosawa Pod. You can find me on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Letterboxd as Farrah Sarpkaya, and at sarpkaya.ca, where I lend my voice as a voice actor. Ben, where can the people find you and all your Oscars takes?
You can find me on Blue Sky as @thebenjamon and on Letterboxd as @benjamon. All my Oscars takes, though, seem reserved for ranting to my wife about things like this. So,
and whenever we ping you in our private Discord,
yes, they're a little toned down for public consumption. So, but yeah. Until then, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon. And always
cue the off the stage music.
Yeah, the music playing us off is starting right now. And until next time, it's just an honor to be nominated.